There comes a moment in every woman's life when she looks in the mirror and wonders, am I enough? And the world has tried to answer that question for you. It told you that you needed to be thinner, quieter, softer, more accommodating, that you should shrink to fit into spaces that were never designed for your greatness. But today I need you to hear this. You are enough. Exactly as you are. No edits, no filters, no adjustments. You have been chasing perfection like it's the key to your happiness. But perfection is a lie. It is an illusion meant to keep you running in circles, exhausting yourself, while the real joy of life passes you by. Your stretch marks, your scars, your past mistakes, they are not flaws. They are the marks of a woman who has lived, loved, and fought battles no one even saw. Own them. Somewhere along the way, you were told to stay quiet, to lower your voice, to make yourself smaller, no more. Your voice matters. Your opinions matter. You were not put on this earth to be unseen, unheard, or unnoticed. Take up space. Speak with confidence. The world doesn't need another woman who blends in. It needs you exactly as you are. And let's talk about self-love. Not the kind you post about, but the kind you practice when no one is watching. The kind where you say no to things that drain you. The kind where you walk away from people who treat you like an option. The kind where you wake up every morning and choose you. Because loving yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. You cannot give your best to the world if you are constantly running on empty. You will fail, and that's a good thing, because failure is not the opposite of success. It is the foundation of it. Every great woman you admire has failed more times than she has won. The difference, she didn't let failure define her. She used it, learned from it, and came back stronger. So when you fall, don't stay down. Get up. Every time, you deserve happiness. Read that again. You deserve to wake up excited about life. You deserve to be loved in a way that feels safe, secure, and fulfilling. You deserve to chase dreams that set your soul on fire. Stop settling for half-hearted love, soul-crushing jobs, and anything that makes you feel less than what you are. I know life hasn't always been easy. I know you have been through storms that no one knows about. But listen to me. Your struggles are not your identity. They are not proof of weakness. They are proof of your strength. You have survived things that would have broken others. That fire inside of you, it is still burning. And finally, the world needs you. Not a watered-down version of you, not the acceptable version, the real you, the one with dreams, with passion, with fire, the one who dares to stand up, speak up, and make an impact. So stop waiting for permission. Stop doubting your worth, because you, my love, were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to be unstoppable. There comes a time when you have to stop looking outside yourself for the validation you were born already possessing. Too often we wait for someone to tell us we are good enough, smart enough, beautiful enough. We measure our worth through the lens of other people's opinions, through the number on a scale, the approval of a boss, the affection of a partner, the applause of a crowd. But what if I told you that none of those things determine your value? What if I told you that from the moment you took your first breath, you were already enough? Think about it. No one else was created with your exact heart, your exact mind, your exact purpose. You were never meant to be a copy of someone else. Yet society has tried to convince you that you need to prove your worth, that you need to earn love, that you must constantly do more, be more, give more, just to be seen. But the truth is, your worth is not up for debate. It is not something that increases when people approve of you or decreases when they don't. It is not something you need to hustle for. You are already enough. without validation, without permission, without conditions. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when you compare yourself to others, when you feel like you are falling behind. In those moments, remind yourself who you are. Remind yourself of the battles you have fought, the storms you have survived, the strength that flows through your veins. No one else walks this earth with your story, your perspective, your fire. No one else has your unique voice, your ability to love, your power to create, to heal, to lead. You bring something into this world that no one else ever could, and that alone makes you enough. You do not need to fit into anyone's mold. You do not need to be smaller, quieter, more agreeable just to make others comfortable. You are not here to meet unrealistic expectations or to live according to someone else's definition of success. You are here to be exactly who you were created to be: bold, imperfect, real. The moment you stop seeking approval and start standing firm in your own worth is the moment you become unstoppable. The people who truly matter will see your light, not because you beg them to, but because you choose to shine anyway. Perfection is the lie that keeps too many women trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, always chasing an impossible standard, always feeling like they are falling short. From a young age, you were told what perfection should look like, how to dress, how to act, how to speak, how to exist in a way that pleases others. You learned to measure your worth by how well you could meet expectations that were never meant to empower you, but to control you. And the more you tried to be perfect, the more exhausted, empty, and disconnected you became. But here's the truth: perfection is not real. It is an illusion, a moving target that will always shift the moment you think you have reached it. You were never meant to fit into a mold that erases your uniqueness, your imperfections, your quirks, your so-called flaws. Those are what make you powerful. The stretch marks that remind you of the body that carried you through life. The mistakes that taught you lessons. The moments of struggle that built your resilience. Those are not things to hide. They are proof that you are human, that you are real, that you are growing. The women who changed the world are never the ones who played it safe, who silenced themselves, who spent their lives trying to be perfect. They are the ones who dared to embrace their imperfections, who showed up as their raw, unfiltered selves, who understood that true beauty is found in authenticity, not in flawlessness. The sooner you let go of the need to be perfect, the sooner you set yourself free, free to live, free to love, free to take up space without apology. You do not need to be perfect to be worthy. You already are. Your voice matters. Your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings, they all matter. But for too long, the world has tried to convince you otherwise. It has told you to be quiet, to be agreeable, to not make waves. You were taught that speaking up makes you difficult, that standing your ground makes you unlikable, that asserting yourself is something to be ashamed of. So you learn to shrink, to hold back your words, to silence your truth just to keep the peace. But silence is not your purpose. You were not born to sit on the sidelines of your own life. Your voice carries weight. It has the power to inspire, to heal, to challenge, to change the world around you. And the moment you start believing that is the moment everything shifts. The moment you stop waiting for permission to speak and start owning your presence, people will listen, not because you force them to, but because truth cannot be ignored when it is spoken with conviction. There will be those who try to diminish you, who dismiss your words, who make you feel like your voice does not hold value. Do not let them convince you to stay silent. Speak anyway. Take up space. Make yourself heard. Your voice is not too loud. Your opinions are not too much. Your presence is not an inconvenience. You do not need to soften yourself to make others comfortable. The world does not need another woman who blends in. It needs you fully and unapologetically as you are. Self-love is not a luxury. It is not something you give yourself only when you've earned it, only when you feel like you deserve it, only when the world tells you that you are worthy. Self-love is a necessity, a foundation, a non-negotiable part of who you are. Yet for too long, you have been taught to put yourself last, to take care of everyone else first, to give until you have nothing left, to believe that loving yourself is selfish. But tell me this, how can you pour into others when your own cup is empty? How can you show up for the world if you refuse to show up for yourself? Loving yourself does not mean you think you are perfect. It means you recognize your worth even when you are struggling. It means you extend kindness to yourself instead of criticism. It means you stop waiting for external validation to feel good about who you are. You do not need permission to rest. You do not need to justify setting boundaries. You do not need an excuse to choose yourself. If something is draining your energy, it is not selfish to walk away. If a situation is no longer serving you, it is not unkind to say no. Your peace is priceless, and you should protect it fiercely. The way you love yourself sets the standard for how the world will love you. If you accept less than what you deserve, others will assume that is all you are worth. But the moment you decide to honor yourself, to stand firm in your value, to embrace yourself fully, the game changes. You become unstoppable, untouchable, unshakable. And that right there is where true power begins. Failure is not the end. It is not a sign that you are not good enough, not capable enough, not worthy enough. Yet too many women have been taught to fear failure as if it is something shameful, something to avoid at all costs. You were told to play it safe, to stick to what you know, to never take risks that might lead to disappointment. But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the path to it. Every strong, powerful, successful woman you admire has failed. Not once, not twice, but over and over again. The difference is she didn't let failure define her. She didn't see it as proof that she wasn't good enough. She saw it as proof that she was trying, learning, growing. And so must you. Every setback, every mistake, every rejection is not a dead end. It is a lesson, a redirection, a necessary step on the journey to something greater. You will not always get it right on the first try. You will stumble, you will fall. But what matters is that you get back up, that you refuse to let fear keep you from moving forward, that you understand the only real failure is giving up. Every time you rise again, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your obstacles, greater than your doubts, and far more powerful than you ever imagined. You deserve happiness, not just moments of joy here and there, not just fleeting glimpses of contentment. You deserve a life that truly fulfills you. But for too long, you have been conditioned to believe that happiness is something you must earn, that it comes after the sacrifice, after the struggle, after you have given enough, proven enough, achieved enough. You were taught that settling is easier than wanting more, that accepting less than what you truly desire is just a part of life. But that is a lie. You were not put on this earth to merely survive. You were meant to thrive. You were meant to wake up excited, to feel deep love, to chase dreams that set your soul on fire. You were meant to experience happiness in all its forms, happiness that is not dependent on others, not conditional, not something you have to beg for. You deserve relationships that make you feel seen and valued, not ones that leave you questioning your worth. You deserve work that excites you, not something that drains you day after day. You deserve to create a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. Do not let fear keep you in places where you are only half alive. Do not let comfort convince you that you should settle for less than what truly fulfills you. You do not need permission to be happy. You do not need a perfect life before you allow yourself to feel joy. You deserve it now, exactly as you are, exactly where you are. And the moment you believe that, everything begins to change. Strength is not something you are born with. It is something you build, something that grows within you every time life tries to break you and you refuse to let it. You have faced battles that no one even knows about. You have carried burdens that felt too heavy, walked through storms that seemed endless, and stood back up after moments that nearly shattered you. And yet here you are, still standing, still fighting, still pushing forward. That is strength. The world may look at you and only see the surface, but you know the truth. You know the nights you cried yourself to sleep and still got up the next morning. You know the moments when everything felt like it was falling apart, yet you found a way to keep going. You know the pain, the fear, the doubts that tried to silence you, yet you refused to let them win. Strength is not about never struggling. It is about refusing to be defeated by the struggle. Some of the hardest moments in your life will become the very things that shape you into the woman you are meant to be. The heartbreak, the failures, the losses, they are not signs that you are weak. They are the fire that forges resilience. The greatest warriors are not those who have never been wounded, but those who have been through the fire and emerged stronger. And that is you. You are not fragile. You are not broken. You are unshakable. You are unstoppable. You are stronger than you think. The world needs you. Not a quieter version of you. Not a smaller, more agreeable, more acceptable version of you. The real you. The woman with passion, fire, and dreams that refuse to be ignored. The woman who dares to take up space, to speak her truth, to stand in her power, even when the world tries to silence her. You were not placed here by accident. There is a reason you are here, a purpose that only you can fulfill, a light that only you can bring. But too often you have been told to dim that light, to not be too much, to not be too ambitious, to not want more than what others are comfortable giving you. You were made to believe that playing small is the safer choice, that blending in will make life easier. But deep down, you know you were not meant to live in the shadows. You know there is something inside you that is meant to be shared, something that is meant to impact, to inspire, to change lives, including your own. Do not let fear keep you from stepping into your greatness. Do not let doubt convince you that your dreams are impossible. The world does not benefit from you hiding your gifts. It does not grow when you silence your voice. It does not become better when you pretend to be less than who you are. You were given your talents, your vision, your strength for a reason. Use them. Because the world doesn't need another woman who conforms. It needs a woman who is bold enough, brave enough, and unstoppable enough to be exactly who she was meant to be. So now I ask you, what will you do with this truth? Will you keep waiting for permission to be who you were always meant to be? Or will you finally step into your power? Will you keep shrinking to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you? Or will you rise and claim the life you deserve? You are enough. You do not need to be perfect. Your voice matters. Self-love is not optional. Failure is not your ending. Happiness is your right. Strength is already within you. And the world is waiting for you to show up as the bold, unstoppable, extraordinary woman you were always meant to be. No more waiting, no more doubting, no more hiding. This is your time. Go live it fully.